Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Leighton, and this is going to be recorded as a YouTube video, but I will also be uploading it as my very first podcast episode, which I will link down below. If you guys can go in and support that, that'd be great. But yeah, so this is going to be a new series that I'm going to be recording. It's going to be a crash course for the book Breakthrough Advertising. This is the book right here. If you are watching this on YouTube, you can see. It's definitely my most expensive marketing book. I've spent a lot of money on courses, marketing books, obviously listen to podcasts and YouTube videos as well. But I learned the most through books, and I have learned the most from this book by far. And I've read it about 1.5 times. Read it all the way through once, and then going back through specific chapters twice. And this time around, I am going to be reading each chapter and then recording a YouTube video about it, and I'll get a little bit more into how I'm going to structure this. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out this book. I think every marketer knows about it, and there's a reason why it's so expensive. They don't make it anymore. It's hard to get a copy, and it's just filled with so much knowledge. So yeah, let's jump right into this little presentation, and yeah, hopefully you guys stick around. Okay, so why am I doing this? I've talked about this a little bit, but let's go through this real quick. So Breakthrough Advertising is a great book that can help every single marketer, whether you're running ads for big brands, whether you're just getting started, whether you're just a marketing major in business. You can learn more from this book than quite any other degree in marketing, and I know that I have a marketing degree from Oregon State, and I wish I read this book. So I think every single marketer can just benefit from studying this book. And it is very, very complicated and not easy to read. There's just so much info in this book. It could have been split up into two books, honestly. So I'm recording this and documenting this so I can go back and refer to these videos for my own keeping. And when I'm doing that, I might as well post it publicly so you guys can do the same exact thing. So, yep. Okay, so how will it be structured? So each video will be 1 chapter maximum. I think that there is so much info in these chapters that I'm going to have to break it up into parts. So 1 chapter max. It depends on the time. Obviously, we have a very short attention span nowadays, so if I go over 10 minutes on this video, chances are most people aren't going to watch it. But I hope you do watch it all the way if you want to learn and actually apply these skills into your business. So yeah. I'll read each chapter. I'll break down the key points of the chapter, and then how I'm going to apply it to my business, and then I will make these videos about it, covering the most important parts. And this book was written a long time ago, but it still applies so much to today, and we're going to talk about that in just a sec. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So this video is about the introduction, even before chapter 1, obviously. So yeah, this is basically the key points from the introduction. So I just want you guys to know that there are 2 parts here. I have it right here, actually, if you're watching this on YouTube. Here's a table of contents for the PDF. It's 2 parts long, about 14 chapters. So there's a lot of info. And how many pages is it? The PDF is 209 pages long, and I have the physical copy as well. So yeah, Eugene Schwartz literally put everything he knew into this book, and it's very important to know that he wrote this after all of his experience and success in mail order copywriting. This is kind of him giving back to the industry by giving away all of his secrets, all of his sauce for relatively free in a book. You can probably find it online. So what is mail order copywriting, and why is it important? So mail order copywriting is exactly what it sounds like. It's advertising through the mail. So imagine there's no social media, there's no internet, there's no .com, and you're running ads in a newspaper or a mail in when you open mail in the mailbox and you see an ad. He was an expert at doing this, and how insane that is. Where today we can just throw up a campaign and test a product in 24 hours. He would have to send mail out and wait for the tickets to come back. And then imagine doing a split test. Imagine testing products over and over again. He had it way more difficult than we do now. So all of those principles are so relevant today because they were at an extreme back then without running ads digitally. So yeah, it's very important for us to understand that everything that he went through is probably harder and more difficult than what we have to do as digital marketers. So that's why any marketer, if you're whether in your copywriting, drop shipping, working with big brands, ads on any platform, it doesn't matter. We can all use these tactics. They are literally timeless. So we can all plug and play these into our business right now. So yeah, the big picture ideas for the introduction and basically the entire book is how to write a good headline, how to write an ad that follows that headline, and which ultimately opens up your ad to a market that you can scale in. That's like the gist of marketing, but like obviously there's so many subparts and like strategies and theories into each part of these, but think of it today as like your headline is your opening hook in your video ad, or if you have an image ad, it's your first headline. Obviously Facebook has primary text and headlines as well. But yeah, I mean, that is basically marketing. How can you grab the attention of your target market, get them through your funnel, and obviously make a purchase? And easier said than done, right? Okay, so let's continue. So, Eugene Schwartz is very, very big on the fact that it's very important to be creative, and that copying other people isn't the way to go and won't reap any success at all. So there's always a need to be creative, and at the end of the day, marketing is a creative industry. It's a creative job, and you have to be a creative person, and that takes skill and obviously time. So there are always a demand for new headline and approaches. You can't just copy, another headline from another brand and run it for yourself. That is zero creativity at all. So there's always a demand for creativity in this space, which makes it a fast-moving, innovative industry to be in. And then Eugene Schwartz talks about the big facts for copywriters in the introduction. So these are the facts condensed in order of what he says in the book. So you can think about like billion-dollar tides, like think of like macroeconomics, if you want to say. All these choices, decisions are made from men and women, but it's really just the hopes and fears. It should be fears, not deers. It's the hopes and fears and desires of millions of men and women in the world. So we can't create or shut off these desires. We can only channel these desires onto our particular product, brand, marketing. It's very difficult to start a new desire unless you're people like Apple, right? Where you're creating the next new thing, which I don't think any of us watching this, but I hope so. People watching this are the next Steve Jobs. But for the most part, we're taking already existing desires and applying them to our product. So no formula. This is another fact. No formula works twice. Rewriting headlines does not work. I can make a separate video about this, talking about echo ads and the idea of when my competitor runs my same ad angle and same ad headline, they're basically just advertising for me because people know my brand first. But that takes zero creativity at all and absolutely zero innovation. So that's why when you guys are testing the same products over and over again as everyone else, that's why it's not working. It's not innovative enough. Okay, so what does work? Innovation. We talked about that a little bit. And how do you create innovation? Well, you create innovation through analysis. What is analysis? It's asking questions. It's letting the problem unfold, and you as the marketer solve it, not create it. So doing market research, understanding your target market, understanding who you're selling to and why they're buying. So yeah, every new market, every new product, every new ad is a fresh new problem, and old ads give no guidance to help this new problem, meaning you can't take one product and apply their same angles to this new product, or take their headline and tweak it to this headline. It just doesn't work that way. They're separate entities, they're separate problems, and every single product is different from one another. I mean, that's why people buy new things, because they differentiate themselves from their competitors, right? So the right headline cannot be created out of thin air, but it can be found by asking the right questions. So copywriting isn't really coming up with brand new things. It's about understanding the market and who you're selling to and the types of words they use, and crafting together a headline that's already out there. It's like invisible, but it's not something brand new. It's hard to explain this concept, but we're really taking he said it best. We're taking the desires that are already out there and formulating them together into an ad, into a headline, into a script. We're not coming up with these new desires, right? Hope that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of the introduction, and then he goes into part one of the book. Let's see what part one is named. So yeah, part one is the basic strategy of persuasion, mass desire, your prospect's state of awareness, the sophistication of your market, 38 ways to strengthen your headline, and then the summary of part one, which we'll be going over in the next videos. But yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you guys can stick around for the rest of this series, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And if you guys can check out the podcast as well, if you're listening in the car or whatever, I'm going to try to start growing this podcast as well. And then Eugene Schwartz ends the introduction with this quote, or it's his words. He says, "Good luck and good hunting." And that's the end of the introduction before he goes into part one. So yeah, good luck and good hunting.